Got to do it. Gotta do it. Like, why the hell so quiet?
And tell us your educational background.
Well, I went to college in Carbondale, went to SIU, majored in economics. After college, I thought I was going to dive right into the financial service field, go to Ed Jones and become a financial advisor, and that was not the case. So I ended up getting into the insurance field, life and health insurance, and I stayed in Southern Illinois. So I was working Southern Illinois, Missouri. I got to meet a lot of different interesting people, which actually drove me to wanting to have a nonprofit. So it's funny how one path, like my idea was to be a corporate lawyer. And then now I have a social service agency. So it all started from economics in Carbondale.
Interesting.
But I went to school here. So I went to O'Donnell on the east side. Then I went to Nancy Hill, which is on the west side, Jefferson. And then, of course, West Aurora High School. I'm a graduate because everyone knows east is east and west is west. But in Aurora, west is best.
Oh, snap.
I didn't make that up.
We used to have that same thing in Joliet, but it was east is the least and west is the best.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh, see, we ain't even do that to the east side. We just said east is east.
That's kind of And growing up, what impact did your father have on your life?
My father passed when I was 6. So my grandfather took that role. And I mean, I'm a living reflection of all of his lessons: to be generous, to be empathetic, to be patient, to be non-judgmental. So he gave me a lot of great lessons by being a pastor because he never turned anybody away. A lot of times service would be going on and you'd see someone come in that would probably make a lot of individuals uncomfortable, and he always received them with open arms and helped them. And I mean, even the roughest, toughest guys in the neighborhood, when they seen my grandfather, they always gave him respect because he respected everyone. So he was a great example in that aspect. I look to be more and more like him. Sometimes I don't know how he dealt with some individuals, but yeah, you're like, okay, well, since I know it's possible, I'll try a little harder.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So Bishop William Haven Bonner. Interesting. And see, that's one of the things I like about this show. Like, you get to know a lot of the history of Aurora from people. I didn't know that he had his own day and things like that.
Yes.
What lessons do you take from him in your day-to-day activities with the nonprofit?
That our gifts are not for us. And I always use the tree as an example because that's the easiest thing to do. So inside of every seed is a forest. You plant the tree or you plant the seed and the tree comes up. It goes through all these grueling processes. And the final product is this beautiful tree with apples on it, right? It's gorgeous. Took years. And somebody comes up and takes the doggone apple and bites it, and it's delicious.
Right.
The tree is happy. It's done its job. But the tree doesn't know what the apple tastes like. It's for other people. So that's what I have come to accept. It's like, hey, if I'm good at something and I enjoy it, I want to share it because apparently it's something that God gave me to share. So I take that with me every day. Even like, little quirks and the humor or whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, I guess I should just go on and give it away.
I'm feeling it. Right.
Yeah. I get a little deep sometime, y'all.
Oh, this is the show for it.
You were getting deep the other day because I read something that you wrote, and it said, a tree never enjoys its own fruit. However, it's best in harvest time. That was deep.
That's deep.
It is deep, yep. That's the quote of the
Now,
day.
that's my quote. So if you use it, I'm going to sue you.
That was the day I was climbing trees. Right.
Tell us about Aurora from the time that you were young, growing up here,
Okay.
and to date. The changes that you've seen, what's come and gone, and what's here and remains still.
Well, that has a lot of different layers. When I was little, I remember Aurora being a community. I mean, my school, we had all different types of individuals. So, you know, you have the whites, you have the blacks, you have the Hispanics. I had all friends of all colors, from elementary school all the way up to high school. We would do things together, go camping, and I enjoyed my childhood here. I did. We rode bikes, we did all of those things. And so now I feel that Aurora is on its way back, but I do feel like there has been a period of separation, whereas we're not able to really be a community. We should be able to look out for each other. And I'll also tell individuals, it does matter what happens in my household. I care about what happens in your household too, because one day we could cross paths. So it's important for me to know,
Right.
if you lack something, I can help you, and vice versa. If I lack something, you can help me, because we want to all limit each other's stress. So the difference to me is the sense of community that has changed, but I do feel like it's moving its way back into that community positivity, that whole era and just vibe.
Talk about the separation. How did it start? What does it look like?
You know what? I think the separation, and I'm sound like an old person, doggone social media.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't have that human interaction like that anymore. A lot of our relationships are virtual. So you don't get to pay attention. You're not in the moment all the time because you want to see what's going on the phone, on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever the case. We miss a lot of opportunities to get to know each other because we're busy. A lot of things have changed, but I'm going to blame it on social media. But a lot of things have changed. You know, increasing bills and stress levels. Families don't have time to really come home and have meals. When you get home, you're tired. You might cook something, but everybody might eat in a separate room, and then you're off to homework or whatever else you have to do. So a lot of things have changed as far as the family. And then, of course, the family is the basis of a community. So if the family structure and how families operate changes, then it's organic that society is going to change.
Right. I think that. Go ahead. Excuse me.
Okay.
I think that that's true. So when you talk about the separation, I do feel that. I feel that in addition to perhaps the social media making separation be easier for people, I do feel that there is also kind of a generational.
Oh, for sure.
Even without social media, there's a generational aspect to it that I think I lived in Aurora for about 10, 11 years now, and I feel that it's more generational. Social media kind of made it
more pronounced.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, social media was perhaps the nail in the coffin of getting along with people.
I do agree with that. I definitely feel like our different generations need to have some type of round table so we can understand each other. Like, times are different for all of us. Even with my daughter, I have an 18-year-old. So what she's going through and the time she's living in, some of the things I don't understand. And I mean, I'm surely not old. So
Surely.
surely.
Yes,
I mean,
Right.
surely.
Girl, you're glowing. Right.
Right. I'm just, just happy.
Right.
But the generations, like the older generations, they fear teenagers. And then teenagers feel like the older generation, they're just judgmental. So I feel like we haven't had that opportunity for conversation to even get to know each other. And then you throw in the different aspects of life, whereas you're not meeting different family members or having those conversations with family members who may be in different generational phases of their life. You're not able to really know each other, who we are, and listen and understand each other. But I think that can change.
Yeah.
I think it's changing now, little by little. If we include all of us in different things, then it has no choice but to change. I feel like, and that's one thing I try to make sure I do with my programs. I want to hit every base. I want to make sure I have something for the seniors. And if I have something for the seniors, I want to make sure that maybe children are involved or adolescents are involved so that they can be around each other and talk, because I know what it looks like to see a senior and a child come in and do something funny or lighthearted, the look on their face, or a child's comfort when they have a grandmother or grandfather type around. So I think it's definitely possible that we can bring it back and make it even better than before with the generation gap that we have going on here in Aurora and other places too.
I agree with what you're saying, because I grew up in that time where you just went outside all day. You didn't come back till dinner. And that's how you met your neighbors. You would go meet kids in the neighborhood or the old man on down the street. But today, kids can't do that, just, with everything involved. So that's how you became that community, and you got to meet people.
And you mentioned something. It's a lot of other things going on too, like
Right.
socially and criminally. So a lot of times there's apprehension. So we don't feel comfortable with our kids going out and riding their bikes all afternoon because of things that are going on in society as well, which is really sad, because we enjoyed being children, and we were really, me and my friend would ride bikes all afternoon and no one would bother us. We would be on the east side, on the west side, and we were kids and no one would bother us. But now I would not feel comfortable with my daughter. Like, I feel uncomfortable with my daughter taking an Uber because of the times and things that are going on. So we have to all work on taking a little bit more time out. That's what I think it is. We're too busy sometimes.
The time is now, my bad. The time is now 8:27 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We're speaking with Natalie Bonner.
We were talking about community and opportunities. Another great way that everybody came together was that dinner. It was a fundraiser. It was the guys versus the gals. Remember that one?
Yes.
And it kind of came about. We see each other every day from time to time. It's like, hey, how are you doing? And you invited us to tell us what this event was.
Okay, so Talented 10th is working with an organization. They're grassroots, and it's called On Us. It's a group of men who have been feeding the community for about 6 weeks, right up on Downer, 420 West Downer at Our Savior's Lutheran Church. We call them BDC, Burger Dog Chip, because that's what they do, in water. So we came up with the idea to do a Battle of the Sexes cookout, because women, we're always in the kitchen making it happen, but we know men have skills on the grill.
I was going to say.
Men have skills on the grill. So we thought it'd be a good idea to not only let everybody know what was going on, but bring that sense of community into the community. It was fun.
It was, yes.
We had the women won, of course, because we had like 7-8 different dishes. The men had Burger Dog Chip.
I did get one of those burgers.
I did not. The burgers, though, they looked so amazing.
Yes.
I didn't get to taste the burgers, but the program is also a recidivism program. So these men, it's very important for people to know what's going on here, especially with this program. So I'm glad you brought that up. These men have they have backgrounds. Okay, and now what they're doing, instead of dwelling on their mistakes or continuing to do things that may not be productive, what they're doing now is they're giving back to the community. They're giving back some of the things that they may have taken from the community, and they're being leaders in the sense of they're men, they're cooking, right? They're giving the food away, right? Men of different backgrounds who may have been enemies at one point in time, right? They're all together and they're doing this. They're happy. They're having a good time, okay? It's a sense of community. So it's a very, very, very important program, because a lot of time people don't forgive, right? So you have that stigma and you have that stereotype.
Explain recidivism too when you get.
Recidivism is dealing with individuals who have been incarcerated and making sure that that's not a habit.
Right, the revolving door.
Door. And I mean, that's a whole nother conversation that I can get into. I'll leave that alone for today. However, these men are letting people know we're here. We love our community, especially since we have the violence that's been going on with the youngsters. Kids don't listen to what we say. Kids do what we do. So if they see men out here giving back to the community, quote unquote enemies or whatever the situation may be, if they see them working together and giving back, it's laughter, it's love, what are they going to do? Maybe they'll be able to communicate a little bit better, right? And talk about their issues versus resorting to violence. So that's the point of that. But the men versus women thing, the point of that was to beat butt. And we did. We won. Christine, who do you think?
Exactly.
Hello?
You guys also had tea on the ladies' side, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We had tea. We had all types of different beverages. We had fruits. We had desserts.
I saw the plates. The plates were swole.
Let me,
for the audience.
Listen.
For the audience, swole means that there was a lot of food on the plate.
I was just talking about this last night. I was like, some people who came, they actually ought to be ashamed because they ate like they never ate before. But it was really good, and it was a really, really fun time. We're going to have to plan another one.
It was. Yeah, you were invited, but you got a better offer. I'm not going to give you, too much
it wasn't
crap
an
about that.
offer. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I did not make it that day. You told me about it, and we had talked about it. So she went over to you guys, and on that particular day,
what you do?
Don't say where you're.
On that particular day, I had to work, but then I had an opportunity. A friend of mine asked me to come talk and meet with him, so I talked and met with him. And met an interesting character.
Okay.
So it was a quasi business meeting.
Got it.
Quasi, with an emphasis on the quasi.
Yeah. Got it.
He was having scotch and cigars and grilled chicken.
They were just there.
Well, I was having scrimp.
That shit was just there.
I had scrimp and this big plate.
Oh, Christine just learned about
the scrimp and the chicken.
Christine just learned about what scrimp was that day. She said, are they different? I said, no, it's fried shrimp.
Yeah.
You call fried shrimp scrimp. And fried means delicious.
Right.
It was just a great day and a perfect example of what's going on. It was me kind of stepping outside of my normal friendship ring, that
me
circle.
too.
And I felt completely, welcomed. Nobody cared that I was, technically the outsider, not, part of their neighborhood or anything like that.
And that's the key. There are no outsiders, and it's all about neighborhood. I believe their slogan is bringing the neighbor back into neighborhood. Somebody.
Here's what I like about watching you guys and doing your thing and seeing that the cookout and everything. What I'm really feeling is the dedication. I'm feeling it. You're there every single day. Y'all out there in the hot heat and just getting it in. Not asking, doing, not a lot of riff-raffing it, just doing it. I really like that. I think that the other aspect that I like about what you're doing is that with a lot of people in the black community, right? Old school people put on the fish fries and all that. They got the bake sale and all that. And that's like Big Mama and them doing that.
Right.
Uncles and aunties. I like that you guys are young and doing that. It gives me hope that aspect that I grew up with.
It's not going to die.
It's not going to die. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
When the next generation picks up the torch of those, because that's a big thing.
It's huge.
That is in black culture. I'd have to say that in Latino culture, it's probably the equivalent of the quinceañera party and all that. Even though ours is not a birthday, a coming of age party.
Right.
Quinceañera, yeah, it's the equivalent. I mean, it is It's if you look in the dictionary of culture for black folks, that's up there. I like that you guys are young and doing that. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my people doing positive things Is that the plate?
I got to post this.
Lord.
Oh, we're going to put that on the Instagram.
Lordy.
Okay, I'll save it for that.
I'm talking about,
Because
that got me a little hungry.
that's he's like, oh, I'm having this. I said, yeah,
Flashback.
look what I'm having.
Now,
Yes.
I'll tell you this. Where I was at, yes, there was scotch and cigars. But there was chicken and pasta salad. It wasn't
Listen.
It wasn't I mean, I ate the hell out of it, but that plate looked
You ain't getting nothing like that.
No.
That plate
It
looked
was like
really
we almost
good.
did
She
like a
needed
little
probably
trading
two
place.
We
plates.
did trading
We did
places. It
trading
was
places
trading
that
places.
day.
Yeah.
And it was good. And I'm really glad to hear how comfortable you were and how welcomed you felt, because that's the whole idea.
I think that goes back to the separation part that we were just talking about as well.
Exactly.
If, it's a sign of it's nothing new, but
It's nothing new.
yeah, it's nothing new, but like, Caucasians being uncomfortable or whatever around black folks and not want to come to the party, and like black people kind of being like iffy about going to the little shindig or whatever.
Right.
That's what's stopping, in addition to the social media, that's what's stopping the damn sandwich of humanity from being made.
Exactly. If you
That's
don't get
what it
to
is.
know, like, it's easy. We all have those presumptions
Right.
about individuals, and then you actually have an opportunity to sit down with that person, and you're like, oh, they all right.
Right.
And it works out. So that's the point of it as well. I mean, I didn't think that the impact would be as huge on that level. My main thing was, when I spoke with the gentleman, Andre Pearson, was for the boys and the violence piece. That's where my mind was like, hey, you guys, y'all are men, your fathers, you got to be out here and show these young men what they should be doing.
I'm feeling on us. I'm feeling it.
It's on us.
The day I met y'all. Super feeling it. As soon as I heard, like, I'm loving it.
I love the little acronym. We love an acronym around here. So it's all good stuff going on. And like I said, we're getting back into it. And what you were just mentioning about, white people maybe walking and they see a group of black men, wife beater, whatever.
Right.
Like, oh,
Right.
what's my pearls? And it doesn't happen up the street.
Right.
I'm telling you. They're like, hey, you guys cooking today?
You know what I think?
Police come?
Here's what I think. Let me hold on. Here's what I think it is too. It says a lot. This is why I love this show. Here's what it says. Because they're up the street. That's the
Right
west
up the
side.
street.
It's on. This is Downer. It's right up the street.
Right up the street.
It's like Downer and whatever the hell. It's before May Street.
Chestnut or
something
Hawthorne
like
or something like that.
Those white people around there are cool.
Hello?
That's not a thing over there. They're not. These people in this area, in Aurora, are seasoned. They're not. It's nothing new to them, really. They're not tripping. Like, they like that people are doing things in a fashion with which to give back. I was at, and because this is your interview, I was at a little shindig on the west side once upon a time, and we were out there handing out, we were packaging up meals and just giving them away to people. A box, a couple of cans of this, a couple of things of that, 2 juice boxes, boom, you're gone. Now, when I was in Naperville, right, did kind of the same thing. Now, I got a little badge on. My name is on the list, right? But I go to walk up to check in and register, and are you in the right place, young man?
Oh, my.
Like, are you Debbie? Yeah, I'm Debbie. Well, I'm Curtis.
Oh, my.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, right? But that's different here in Aurora. It's not like these people here in Aurora are just different. So that goes a long way. At least gives me a little bit of hope that things would start to mend as they should.
And I think that's something that they may have been longing for, because we all were talking about how it used to be, and surely I'm not old, so when I was a kid, that wasn't that long ago. So imagine with them, it was even more family oriented when they were younger. So the return of that is, I'm sure, soothing and comforting. No matter what race you are.
Right. There
And
you
that's
go.
the bottom line. We always get into this conversation. It doesn't matter what you do or who you are. We all want the same doggone thing. And if you tell me you don't want these things, I know for sure you're a liar.
Right.
We want to be healthy. We want to have access to things that we need, food, clothing, shelter, all of that. We want a family, may it be you or someone else. We want our families to be happy and healthy, and we want to feel loved and appreciated. Everybody wants that. It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. Everybody wants that deep down inside. So if we just remember that, even in times where we may be frustrated with one another or we might not understand one another, that's the bottom line.
The time is now 8:40 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we are speaking with Natalie Bonner.
Yes.
So a question I got, where did the name Talented Tenths come from?
That came from W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay.
So he coined the phrase from another gentleman, and the concept is that within the African American community, there would be 10% of individuals who would be afforded the opportunity of education or culture, whatever that looked like, and they would be responsible for sharing that and uplifting the other 90%.
Word up.
It gets a little bit more in detail, but that's my premise for it. Sometimes we have different opportunities. Some people are not afforded the same opportunities, but they have the same talent, right? So if I know that I have access to something and I know that you need it, whether or not we're friends or I like you or whatever, that goes back to the whole fruit thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's my duty to help you or to tell you or whatever the case may be. Whatever you do with that is on you, but it's my duty to do that because that's why we're all here for each other. If we didn't need each other, it'd be one person on the world. Like, that's it. So that's where Talented Tenth came from.
I like that. I like that. And for the listeners, W.E.B. Du Bois was a very, among many things, he was a writer and noted author. Check out any of his works.
Who's Marie Sunshine?
I am also a children's book author, and Marie Sunshine is my pen name because Marie is my middle name, and I look like sunshine, right?
Hey.
So, hello, somebody. So that's where that came from.
That's great. What kind of books?
Children's books. I have 5 children's books. The first children's book I wrote was for my daughter when she was turning 16. So I thought it'd be special to do something for her 16th birthday. And at the time I had an infant, so I felt bad. And I'm like, oh, well, he's about to turn 1, so I have to write him a book too. So then I wrote him a book. But while I was writing those 2, it just popped in my head to do something for children to learn about different men and women of color who have revolutionized the world. So I did 2 children's books. One is for men or about men. One is about women, famous men and women of color who've done amazing things in history. And it focuses on individuals that they're more than likely not going to learn about in school. So Martin's not in there. Sorry. Right. Malcolm's not in there. Sorry, but I do have Marcus Garvey.
Right.
Okay, I do have Ira Aldridge. You know, I have Zumbi. I learned about Zumbi. Okay, York. So you guys know of Lewis and Clark, right? The explorers. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have been Lewis and Clark without York.
Right.
We don't know about York, though. York was a man of color. However, it was him. So I did that to empower children of color. I love all children. However, there's something going on with children of color, and they feel different ways about themselves. So the point of the books is to let them know, like, hey, these people look like you. Look what they did. You're not going to hear about a lot of them. But I wanted them to be empowered and to learn. And what I noticed is that parents learn too about it. Like, oh, I didn't know that. Then the final book is about fraternities and sororities because I'm a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the only sorority, the best sorority, ooh whoop.
Shout out to the sisters.
Shout out to my sorors.
Delta Sigma
Yes, Glen Ellen Area Alumni Chapter. That is my chapter I belong to. We do a lot of great things. So, I mean, community service and just being in the community, that's just a part of who I am. It's who I am. Every association I have, they care about people. If you're not on the same wavelength as me in that aspect, I'm not around you.
Word up.
Period.
No, it's great with the books because, again, you're teaching kids that you don't have to be one of these big name people. You can be anybody.
I self-published, and I did it mainly for creativity. The books, actually, they took off pretty well, and we have a curriculum to go with the books. And I'm telling you, I'm rolling out in September. Listen, for the homeschoolers, you're definitely going to want to get it because we have the activities, circle time. You know, we're letting you know everything you need to do, and it's all bordered around famous men and women of color, and it's STEAM-based because we're talking about scientists here. We're talking about technicians. We're talking about engineering. We're talking about art. We're talking about mathematics. All that's in there. So I'm excited about that, too.
Nice. So people that are doing e-learning now, how can they find this curriculum?
Well, I will have it on mariesunshine.com.
Okay.
First part of September. They can always email me and get more information or pre-order it. We are also doing pre-orders on that. They can contact me at talentedtenthss@gmail.com.
And that's TENTH.
TENTH, 10th. Because we always hear tenths. It's not tenth.
Right.
Tenths. It's not tenths. It's
sounds
tenth.
like my uncles and all that.
With a little lisp.
10th.
It's lisp.
Yeah, right.
10th.
TENF 10th.
Right, 10th.
Told you we was gonna get you that interview, right?
You did.
Told you.
Boy, you was
Told you.
fast. I'm
Yep.
talking about that's what we do.
Exactly. Women in business.
Yes.
So one of the things that I like to emphasize on the show, we try to do a good job of it day by day, but it's that, like, you are one of a few people who cross a couple of our series. I should say you're a woman in business, but also you've got that strict social justice and fairness, equity aspect as well.
Yes.
Talk about what you feel are some of the things that Aurora needs to tackle. No, not just Aurora. Perhaps society at the moment. Just a couple of quick things that we need to tackle and jump on.
Succession. That's important. We're aging out. We were talking the whole interview. We've been talking about just the cycle of life, right? So the generation gap has to change. Just focusing on our differences has to change. We have to focus on what makes us similar,
Right.
what makes us alike. But succession is really important because I feel like the teenagers, they feel a disconnect with us. And that's another reason why when you're talking about dedication and being out there every day, one thing that's important for them is consistency. You can't establish that rapport and that trust if they feel like, oh, this is your job. You're just here because, you want to get paid or you want to look good, because every time you see me, all we do is take pictures and post them on social media versus having a conversation of substance. So I think that we all need to be better as far as our generation and up, going back and making sure that these kids and these adolescents feel connected to us. That's important. They need to trust us. They need to be able to depend on us because they're going to be the ones taking care of us at the end of the day. So I always tell people, too, what I'm doing is kind of selfish. These kids are going to be taking care of me. I'm not too comfortable right now. So I have to do what I need to do, right?
Right.
To make sure when I'm in my mother's position or at my mother's age or at my grandfather's age when he was living, that they have the tools to take care of me properly. Hello, somebody.
Right. Good. Very good.
I like to end on a little humor when it get a little deeper.
So the time is now 8:50 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, and we're sitting down with Natalie Bonner. So we got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So as we go into, so today's Tuesday. You know, what activities and events and things do you guys have coming up that the people should need?
It makes
look out
me
for?
excited.
All right.
So we are working with an amazing artist, Gator, and he's doing our children's room in the office. So we had some kids come in and they painted their artwork, but Gator has he's turning this room into their haven. It's called the Room of Endless Possibilities. He was making fun of me because it was long, but I wanted to have a space where the children felt safe to create, safe to be who they were, safe to learn, and also make it visually stimulating as well. So we'll be revealing that room really soon. I don't have a date, but make sure you keep up with our social media because we'll be posting that. We'll also be doing a grand opening within the next few weeks with the Quad County African American Chamber of Commerce that I'm also a proud member of. Shout out to Sherman Jenkins and Terry, my mentor. Terry. I love me some Terry Simmons. Terry Talks is on today too. Let me pull up my Terry.
Oh,
Shout out to Terry Talks.
Yes, Terry Talks Tuesday with the T. So that and getting we're going to be working with Simply Destiny a lot as well, which is an amazing organization. I absolutely love all of them and what they have done for the past 11 years and battling suicide prevention and giving children and adolescents an outlet as well as families. So let's see, what do we have this on a weekly basis? We are supporting On Us, as you guys know. So with the barbecue, that's on Wednesdays and Fridays. And Saturdays.
Every Wednesday, every Friday.
Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So Wednesdays are the barbecue days. So you're going to get some burger dog chip on Wednesdays.
Word up.
Friday, we're giving away food. So we partner with the pantry, and they are amazing as well.
Which pantry?
Aurora Interfaith Food Pantry. Kat and Eddie, I really appreciate the both of them. Whenever I need anything, not just in Aurora, I do work in Chicago. So if I go to the city and I'm like, hey, I need 300 boxes of food, they're like, oh, okay.
There you go.
And that's being a neighbor, right? Because what happens in Chicago affects what happens here. Trust and believe me. So that's on Fridays. And then on Saturdays, it's a car wash. So you can go and get a car wash down there. Great pressure wash. 420 West Downer.
420 West Downer.
That's the church where the food is at and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yep, so they're doing the car washes on Saturdays. The hours for all of those
Never knew what
things
the
are
address
3
of
to
that damn
6.
place was. I just knew it was the church.
Right on up the street. You can't miss us.
Yeah.
You can't miss us.
It's the
So
one with all the people.
Right.
yeah, it's the
exactly.
one with all the fun, the laughter, and the love.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's on Saturday, the car wash. Besides that, yeah, those are the main things that we have on a weekly basis right now, besides some of the other events that we'll have rolling out with or other organizations, because we're really big on collaborating with each other as well. So that's important. I don't want to do all the work.
All right. Right. Very interesting.
You got a serious question?
I do. I want to end on this question. So
Okay.
you can-
I hear you're collaborating with the web.
Yes. So I have a drink at the Web, or the Aurora Tap House, DKA the Web. I don't say it because that's another sorority. We say DKA. At the Web, and it's called Sunshine. I can't tell you what's in it because then I'd have to kill you. And I can't kill you because I'm on air, right?
Right.
Right.
Because if anybody get killed in here, I'm telling you what.
Hello.
It was a Good Morning Aurora.
Hello. But it's
somebody.
really hello somebody.
You are somebody when you have a drink named after you.
Yeah.
You know what? The guy is amazing. Dan, he's amazing. So, and the staff there
Shout out
are
to
amazing
Dan
as well.
from
Shout
Aurora
out to
Tap
Dan.
House.
Shout out to Dan. They're amazing. We plan on doing a fundraiser there, a game night there. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff this season. You just wait.
one thing I forgot to ask, are you going to be open for First Friday?
Yes, we're going to be with Simply Destiny. We're working on the logistics of how we want to do it in like the location, if we want to do it out front, out back, parking lot. But we're definitely going to be participating in First Fridays. We're going to have a lot of different activities. Everyone will be able to walk in and see how Simply Destiny is in their space as well as my space. And we're working on diversifying what we do. They have, or there seem to be a Latina or Latinx. Is that the phrase that they're using now? Latinx.
I just learned.
Organization.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. But the Latinx organization, they don't discriminate. They deal with whoever. And we all have the same issues, right? So what we're doing, we want to diversify. We want to work together and like decrease those stigmas that black and brown don't get along and all that nonsense. I love them. We have great relationship, and they've helped me a lot. I've helped them. We're trying to increase that energy and bring more people in, more children, so we can also battle some of the other things that we discussed today.
Interesting. So, I got a serious question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I saved it for the end of the show.
Okay.
It's a question that is so important that I knew that when we started talking about having an interview with you, I was going to bring it up. It was weighing on my heart very heavily.
Okay.
Al Green or Marvin Gaye?
Man, ooh.
Told you, heavy.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with... I'm going with Marvin because Al Green got grits thrown on him. So if you was foolish enough to do something to get some grits thrown on you, but I love both of their music,
right?
And I knew it was gonna be funny because I seen his face. He's like, oh gosh.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye all day. I'm gonna listen to it when I get in the car.
The show ends on a positive note. We like to let people say what the people of Aurora should be thinking about and taking with them and applying in their lives. What should the people of Aurora take with them today on this Tuesday?
What you should take away is that if you woke up today, that you're still needed. Everybody's success is different. So some people want to be successful homemakers, while some people want to be Fortune 500 company CEOs. It's all the same. So whatever your success is, just do it. That's it. Just do it. And do it well. And have fun and smile. Get those endorphins and things going today. Smile. Get some sun. Drink some water.
Hydrate.
Get a little bit of elderberry and sea moss.
Sometimes I think people see us on the sidewalk shouting at each other, going, "Hey!"
It's so cute,
and they're
though.
probably like, "Oh my gosh,
These
it's
nuts.
early."
Yeah, why are you so happy for?
But
Because your life.
Yeah.
It's the flyest stretch
Hello.
in Aurora downtown. The flyest.
It really is.
Fly.
The block is hot.
Block is hot, but you know
In
what?
a good way.
It's hot with energy, positivity. We out there chopping it up, having pictures. Okay, yeah, I see you doing this, that, and the other. Like it's
Making history.
It's fly.
This block right here, honestly, is really going to do some things because we've all come together. I love my little new family because my office was in Plainfield and I had no company. I was always out and about. Now I have all the company. I can't stop people from coming to the office. So I'm excited.
Good. Yeah.
So the time is now 8:59 in a few seconds a.m. You've been listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We've been blessed to sit down with Natalie Bonner of the talented Tense Social Services nonprofit. I'd like to thank JV. I'd like to thank Hunter. I'd like to thank my co-host Christine for another great show. We've got a lot of great interviews coming up. On Thursday, we have a dear friend of the show, Simon Rodriguez.
I love Simon. Simon's awesome.
The City of Aurora Youth Services Committee. And
He's awesome.
on Friday, we have Sarah Sommers, who is an Aurora artist. So stay tuned for our episodes. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Stay up with all the content that we got. Because I'm telling you this. Hear me. We got so much coming.
Talk
Y'all
to
not
me.
even ready.
Talk to
You're
me.
not even ready. So I'm telling you, hit that subscribe button, because if you don't,
You missing out.
you're missing out. And from us to you, have a blessed, positive, motivated day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock on the world's greatest morning show. Peace.
Peace.
That was good.